Hi everyone, welcome to another monthly Craft Kitsune video. This video will cover the November 2020 box, and we'll be making Sakura snowflakes out of resin using the exclusive mold that comes in the November kit. If you've never heard of Craft Kitsune, it is a monthly subscription box run by a crafter, me, Liz, the person speaking to you right now, for crafters. It primarily focuses on resin and UV resin, but I also like to put together kits focusing on different mediums so you can discover new types of crafts and get really creative. And stick around until the end of the video for a little preview of the next kit, which is the December box. Before we jump into how to make the featured project for this month, let's see what was included in the kit. First, we have the brochure, which has written instructions as well as a supply list. We have the exclusive Sakura Snowflake silicone mold, wow, that was a mouthful, designed by me and is exclusive to this Craft Kitsune box. We have a set of epoxy resin. This is 1:1 ratio clear epoxy resin. We have these Sakura shaped glitters, and they are an iridescent color, and I think they're perfect for this box because they're Sakura themed but also kind of have that wintry vibe. Next, we have a strand of 10 LED lights, and they are a warm white color, and there's a little paper strip in them that you'll pull out, and that way you'll be able to turn them on. Next, we have some silver ribbon, perfect for turning your projects into ornaments or hanging them. Next, we have two 2-inch mirrors that are sized perfectly to fit inside the Sakura snowflake. Oh, and there's me. Then we have some diamond beads, and they have pre-drilled holes, and I think they're really pretty. You can put them inside the Sakura snowflake or use them for your other crafts, but I think they're a perfect wintry addition. And then last but not least, we have the monthly illustrated button, designed as always by my sibling, Ather.j, and it is a snow fox, and I think it's really adorable this month, you guys, and it has little Sakura ears. Alright, so now let's jump into the tutorial portion of the video. I'll be going over how I made one Sakura snowflake in particular, but at the end I'll show you some other variations and projects I made as well. For the first one, I actually used some leftover scraps from a previous project. So whenever I mix resin, I always use a silicone cup, and then you can clean it out by taking any scraps that are left behind after it cures. So instead of just throwing them away, I'm going to be using them inside the mold. Alright, so here's the mold, and I actually already put in the LEDs inside before I started recording this, but if you want to see more detail on how to use LEDs in resin, please check out the October 2019 video, which has more detail on how to use LEDs in resin. So now I'm just putting in the resin scraps inside the mold and spacing them out, and this will give the final piece a bit more texture and will contrast with the resin that I'm going to pour inside the mold in just a bit. I also went in and added some silver flakes, so I used some silver foil and I spread it around the mold. Alright, so now we're going to use the resin, and all the directions on how to use the resin are on the bottles as well as on the website. So also just make sure you're using proper safety precautions like wearing nitrile gloves as well as a respirator. The amount of resin you'll need for the mold will depend on what kind of project you want to make. In order to fill the entire mold, you will need around 50 milliliters of resin. However, if you don't want the backing of the Sakura snowflake, you can only use 20 to 30 milliliters and fill it up just the outline portion around the center and not have a back if you want. So I mixed together 100 milliliters of resin that I had left over from a previous kit, and I just mixed the entire contents of both bottles, and then I was able to make 2 shaker style Sakura snowflakes is what I'd call them, the ones that have the backings. I ended up dyeing my resin using alcohol ink, so an opaque white color for the most part, and then I also added in a little bit of pearl pigment and a little bit of a blue pearl pigment as well. Alright, so now it's time to pour the resin, and I'm just pushing down the lights to make sure that they're as far down as possible so that the resin will completely cover them. And here is one of my favorite parts, which is pouring the resin. And I'm going to be pouring it all the way to the top of the mold, but making sure not to like overflow the mold or anything. So then after you pour the resin, you'll need to wait 24 hours for it to harden or cure, and then you can take your piece out of the mold. I'll actually be turning this piece into a picture frame and then into an ornament. So I printed off this very old school picture of me with my cat Batty when I first got him about like 15 or 16 years ago now, and he has since passed away relatively recently, and so I wanted to remember him and put him on my tree as an ornament. And so I printed out a picture of us together, and then I added some tape on both sides to seal it in. And then I put it inside the middle of the Sakura Snowflake, which I had lined with lights. And then I actually just stuck mine inside the Sakura Snowflake using some tape. However, you can also put it inside the center and then pour over a thin layer of clear resin. In order to hang your new piece, you can use some of the silver ribbon that came in the kit. But here I'm just going to attach the battery pack from the LED strand to the back of my piece using a command strip. You can also just use tape for this as well, and that way it'll create a nice loop for you to be able to hang it on a tree or wherever you'd like. Alright, so that's it for the tutorial portion. Now I'm going to show you the finished projects that I ended up making using the Sakura Snowflake mold. So here's the one I made in this tutorial video. And I have a tiny artificial tree I hung it on. I actually got a bigger artificial tree, which I'll see in just a second. So here are all of the ornaments that I made. You can also use them as other kinds of winter decorations or just put it on your desktop. And so here is the one I made in the video. And then here is another LED one I made down here, if I can figure out how to turn on. There we go. And I actually added one of the mirrors inside for that one. Here's one that I used some of the diamond beads inside. Here is a shaker that I made. So if you're interested in making shakers, I do have a tutorial video on how to make shakers as well. And then here's one I use my logo inside of, and I think it's really pretty. It's like a pearly pink color. And then here's another shaker with some shaker bits. And then next up I have one that I wrapped my name, Liz, inside with some silver wire. And then I have this mirror one as well, and that mirror is kind of dirty, don't mind that. And then before I end the video, I wanted to go ahead and give you a little preview of the next kit, which is the December box. The featured project is to make these miniature taiyaki ice creams, and it will come with an exclusive mold for you to be able to do so. And I spent many hours and days on the 3D design, and I'm really proud with the result. So I hope you will enjoy making them as well. The mold has 4 parts, so 2 parts for the body and 2 parts for the ice cream, and then you can combine them together to make a 3D version, or you can make just one side and have it be like a flat back cabochon or something for a phone case or a phone grip. And they're also a perfect size to make earrings or any kind of accessory, jewelry, hairpin, etc. So I hope you're looking forward to it. If you're not a current subscriber and you're interested in Craft Kitsune, signups will be open for this kit until November 30th or until sold out, so you can find out more information on the website, which is linked in the description. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next crafty video. Bye guys!